it and clip it into my t-shirt. I'm talking in my pocket. Find a comfortable standing position. Everybody can see me okay, yeah? And hear me okay. Good, right. Get rid of my glasses. If I'm prepared, I'll be all right. Just take a moment, just give your arms a little bit of a shake, your hands a little bit of a shake, a little bit of a bounce into the ground. We're going to be working again, it's breathing practice, but we're going to be working again on mobilization of the spine, mobilization of the rib cage, because we want to be creating space in the ribs to allow the breath to be easy, rhythmical, fluid. So we're going to add some of the movements, work with some of the movements that we worked on last week too. We are going to go into a slight squat position. So you're just going to bend the knees a little bit. Stay facing the camera, I'll show you from the side. So we bend the knees a little bit. The tailbone is not tucked, but it's aiming towards the ground. So you really feel as if your legs are strong tree roots into the ground. And you're lifting, at the same time lifting from the crown of the head upwards to the sky. And we're just going to put our hands across our body and just rest our hands on our belly for a moment. And bring your attention to the breath. And bring your attention just to the really subtle rise and fall as you're breathing normally. So we're not guiding or controlling the breath. You're just following your breath. So you'll notice just a really subtle rise and fall. So the belly's just coming out a little bit as you breathe in. And as you breathe out, just coming back in again. But we're not physically doing anything, we're just allowing that to happen. So just take a minute just to really tune in with the breath being centered, with the body being centered, bringing that focus down. In Qigong, Tai Chi, this area is your lower dantian. So you're just breathing, allowing the breath into the center rather than physically doing anything to bring the breath into the center. Just keep doing that 1 second, and a couple of people are just going to let in. Some late comers here. Nice and strong through the legs. Following your own rhythm, your own tempo, not changing or doing anything different. And then just bring the arms by the side. If you need to, just walk the legs together a little bit, just to give the legs a little bit of a rest. And then back out, shoulder width just slightly wider apart, little bit of give in the knees, lengthen the spine, really all the time through this session, keep that spine nice and long. If we're down here, we're compressing everything, so keep the spine long without it being rigid. We're now going to put our hands on the side of the ribs, so if you feel around the ribs, just get your hands on the side so you can really feel the ribs at the side. I've got my thumbs there just in the back of the ribs as well. And same thing, just tuning with the breath. Not changing anything, not guiding anything, not controlling anything, just noticing. And again, just feel the subtle Can you feel that subtle movement? So are the ribs just gently expanding out to the sides laterally? As you breathe in and as you breathe out, just coming back to the rest. Creating that space in the rib cage. If the rib cage is locked or tight, there's no space for the breath, or there's not as optimal space for the breath. If your shoulders are starting to get tight, again, you can just let your arms rest by the side and give the hands a little bit of a shake out. What we don't want to do in this position is tighten the shoulders up. So if you're starting to feel any tension in the shoulders, just give your arms a little bit of a shake out. We're going to go back to this position. Now we are going to deliberately guide the breath. So we're going to do our 4-7-8 breath. So I'll just explain it first and then we'll do it. So we deliberately take a fuller breath, really focusing on these ribs expanding laterally, expanding out to the side for a count of 4. When we've filled the lungs about 60%, so it's not a big gasp of air, we're going to hold that breath, or we're going to suspend the breath at the top of the breath for a count of 7, and then you're going to do more of an active exhale. You can almost help the breath out of the body by just creating a little bit of a squeeze. So you're just pushing, if you like, that air out of the body. So it's a deliberate breathing pattern or breathing practice to increase the volume of air, hold at the top for 7, and then active exhale, bringing the breath out of the body. You can also, as you're breathing in, you can also just give a little bit of a push against, so you're acting against a resistance. So we're really working the biomechanics, the breathing muscles. So start off just by getting the hands in position. Again, keep that tall spine, nice long, tall spine. I'll count you down from 3 and we'll do 3 rounds of these, one after the other. So just let the breath settle for a moment. And then we'll go 3, 2, 1. So you breathe in, 2, 3, 4, pause, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, squeeze out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and in, 2, 3, 4, pause, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and out. You can use the mouth, you can it's almost like a sigh out, and in, 2, 3, 4, pause, and out. And then arms by the side, just breathe easy. Hands a little bit of a shake, and just walk the legs together if you want to give the legs a little bit of a rest as well. With those bigger, fuller breaths, I really want to feel the difference between gasping air in and sort of like that stressful idea of taking a big breath to actually a very comfortable, it's just like inflating a balloon a little bit more. So it's a very calming, very relaxing, very focused, very intentional, fuller breath to actually create space at the bottom of the rib cage. We're pausing or we're suspending at the top so that we have plenty of time for that diffusion of gases, so that we're getting carbon dioxide and oxygen diffusing, so we're not over breathing just because we're taking a bigger breath. And then we're using an active exhale to help really strengthen the breathing muscles, to strengthen the diaphragm, because you're pulling in here in those upper abdominals to help that breath out of the body. So it's a very deliberate biomechanical but balancing the biochemistry breathing practice. Good. Give your body a little bit of a shake if you need to. And then we're going to go to the back of the body. So I want you to put your hands, I'll show you from the back, there on the kidneys, really here on the kidneys. And what I like to do actually, I'll show you from the side. We'll go again to our shoulder width apart feet. Little bit of a give in the knees. I want to give a little bit of a tilt forwards, so you're leaning forwards. Now watch that I'm tilting with my hips. I'm not bending from the waist there. So I have a neutral spine, and I'm just throwing is the wrong word, I'm just throwing my hips back. I'm just sliding my hips back, just so you can breathe into the back of the body. Again, if it's creating any tension in the shoulders, just give your arms a little bit of a shake out. So we're still keeping that nice long spine and get into that position. The legs are really working here, so you might even feel your legs shaking a little bit. It's part of the practice to really strengthen the legs and get those legs and the tree roots into the ground. So in this position, just breathing into the back of the body. So to start off with, again, as we were doing with the other two practices, is just breathe, let the breath be natural. So just notice the breath. At any time if you start to feel any excess tension, excess stress and strain, just stop. So I don't want to get here and you're like holding the breath and there's pain in your legs or pain in your knees. So just feel that breath in the back of the body. So you'll feel the ribs coming out to the side a little bit, out to the back. So we're breathing into the back of the body. If the shoulders get tight, you can just let the arms relax a little bit and still breathe into the back of the body. So still keep that tilt. You could put one arm there, because again, what we don't want to do is tighten the shoulders. It's just to get that idea of breathing into the back of the body. Just follow the breath, natural breathing. And I'm not going to give you the 4-7-8 on this one, but if you feel comfortable, if the shoulders aren't tight, if you're not creating any excess stress and strain, what you can do is just take a slightly fuller breath in, and you can hold it for a couple of seconds, and you can just... So just if it feels comfortable. So anytime we take a fuller breath than we actually need, in terms of volume of air, you just hold at the top for a couple of seconds. Breathe in. Pause for a couple of seconds. Breathe out. Breathe in. Pause for a couple of seconds. Breathe out. And then just come up to standing. Give the hands a little bit of a shake. Give the legs a little bit of a shake. The more I practice breath work, the more I work with clients, the more I read stuff, the more I listen to other people teaching breath work, there's some really simple things that I think is often missed. Remember first, a deep breath doesn't have to be a big breath. So if somebody says breathe deep, you don't have to take a full breath. This is my opinion, but I understand that a lot of people say deep breath and you take a bigger breath. But you can still breathe deep, but extremely light. It just means that you're breathing down into your center. We're breathing deep doing this. If we want to increase the volume, you're just taking a fuller breath. So it's a bigger breath or a fuller, deeper breath. So don't get confused by deep breaths and just taking big breaths all the time. If we take a fuller breath too quickly, then it activates that fight or flight and we end up over breathing. And the last thing we want to do, as we know, you all know that the oxygen advantage work that we do, is you don't want to over breathe, because then you actually you can reduce the oxygen being delivered to the rest of every cell in the body. So just really be clear that you can take a deep breath without taking a big breath. When we're doing some of the practices, we're deliberately taking a bigger, fuller breath for a deliberate purpose. This is to get all the diaphragm and all the ribs working and moving. Good. Okay, we'll come back to our shoulder width apart, a little bit of give, long spine. Around this spine, visualize the spine being a central rotational axis. And all we're going to do is rotate around that. We're going to start with the hips, so the hips and the center are leading. The head can follow, so you can look side to side, and you're just letting the arms dangle. So again, we look at, when we're thinking of breathing, we look at rib cage, get the rib cage mobilized, make sure you're using the diaphragm. Everybody talks about the diaphragm and the intercostal muscles. But if the spine is stuck or tight or rigid, that will affect the rib cage. So just really, let's work on the spine. Just breathing easy in and out through the nose. Just rotating. And actually, this is a really nice Qigong practice, which they call knocking on the door of life. And you can just let your arms actually bend a little bit, so you're hitting, if you watch me from the back, I'm activating those pressure points in my kidneys. So just waking everything up instead of having your coffee. Getting that adrenaline. And you're activating pressure points as you're hitting the front of the body as well. You're leading from the hips and the pelvis, the waist, physical energy center. It's important again when you're doing this practice that you keep tall through the spine, because if we're doing this, then you're not getting that rotation all the way through the lower back, the mid back, the upper back, and the neck. Good. And then just let the arms come to rest by the side. Another good practice to actually get the spine mobilized is, again, same standing position. We'll do the movement first, then we're going to coordinate some breath with this movement. So from here, you're just going to let the wrists float up and float down. Smooth, 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 smooth. But I want you to really forget about the wrists and forget about the arms. So it's not the arms that is doing the work. I want you to work with the spine. So it's almost like the spine rippling. So if your hips move backwards and forwards, that's fine. So I'm going to exaggerate the movement from the side. It's a bit like that wave. So it's your spine. So extending and opening here. So it's not just an arm movement. It's your spine rippling, waving, extending. So you might get slight tilt forward. The hips might come forwards. But just have that visualization of what's going on. The spine is leading the movement. We're not just doing standing and lifting our wrists up and down. So start off by breathing in and out through the nose just comfortably. So just let the breath, as we practiced at the beginning, be natural, easy, soft breathing. Spine extending, rippling. like a wave, fluid. And now let's bring the breath into the movement. So as we flow up, you're breathing in. As we come down, you're breathing out. Slow, 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 slow. As you flow up, you're breathing in. As you come down, you're breathing out. Nice, that's better. Now I'm watching some of you and you're literally doing, I'll bring my arms up, I'll bring my arms down. It ain't that. It's slow, 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 slow. Spine, extend, extend, extend. Soft, 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 soft. Breathing in. Breathing out. And in. And out. If we slow it down, we can actually take a fuller breath. So breathing in, and you can use more of an active exhale. You can do a sigh, you can do breathing in. You can do a hum, just vocalize. We're not over breathing because we're really slowing the movement down. Breathing in. Breathing out. And in. And out. And in. And out. Breathing deep, we know where deep is, it's into the side of the ribs, into the back of the body. As you're coming up, you can breathe into the back of the body. So we're breathing in 3 dimensions. The diaphragm is 3 dimensions. Breathing in. And out. Fluid, smooth but powerful movement. Fluid, smooth, effortless, energizing breathing. Let's do 2 more. Fuller breath. A little bit of a pause at the top and breathing out. Legs will be working too. Fuller breath. A little bit of a suspension at the top and let the arms rest by the side. Walk the feet together. Shake out the hands. Just bang the heels into the floor a little bit. So just shake the body. Get some vibration. Feel that vibration through the spine, through the body, through the hands. And then stillness. Pop the hands again back on your center. The breath may be a little bit quicker, but just notice how you are breathing at this moment in time. No control, just allow it to happen. Your body's doing the work, your body's breathing naturally. Arms by the side. And just for the final couple of minutes, just get yourself comfortable on the floor actually. That's probably better because we've been doing a lot of standing. So just sit yourself comfortably on the floor or on a chair. Whatever works for you, wherever you can feel comfortable. And just close your eyes if you're comfortable closing your eyes, or you can keep your eyes open. Just keep a soft focus. And we'll just bring our attention to the nostrils. We've done a lot of focus here on our center of the body and the diaphragm, but where each new breath actually enters the body. So just focus, lips lightly together, tongue resting on the roof of the mouth, jaw relaxed, keeping that tall spine. Just following the breath, but following that really clear physical sensation. Slightly cooler air coming in through the nose, slightly warmer leaving. Very simple place to notice the breath. And I'd like you in your own time just to count 6 breaths. So at the top of the in-breath, there's 1 breath. And you breathe out, the top of the next in-breath is 2 breaths. So just in your own time, count the next 6 breaths that you take. Follow those next 6 breaths. When you've followed 6 breaths, just take your attention off the breath, just have a little scan of the body, notice anywhere, any feelings that you have in the body, any sensations, any areas of tightness, any areas of strain. Just playing detective, just noticing. And then bring your attention to the fingers. Give the fingers a little bit of a wiggle. If you can, depending on how you're sitting, the toes, a little bit of a wiggle. And then just open your eyes and bring your attention back into the space around you. And good, we will finish there. As always, this will be on the training portal. You can watch the playback. I will be back on Thursday live with the movement practice, so hopefully you can join me on Thursday. Next week I won't be around, but what I am going to do is I am going to put some videos on YouTube, so they will go live at, I was going to say 7:30, 8:30 on Tuesday, 8:30 on Thursday. There might be a little quiz in there, so if you don't watch them, I'll know if you haven't watched them. So there will be live videos. They won't be live videos, there'll be replays of videos, but they will be live on YouTube. So you won't be accessing, for those of you who access via Zoom, there won't be a Zoom access, but you can watch it on YouTube. And I will send you the links to that. It might be on Facebook as well, I haven't quite worked that out yet. But there will be classes at 8:30 next Tuesday and next Thursday, so you can watch those. They will be on the training portal as well, so you'll be able to get to the training portal and watch those. But hopefully, I know that a lot of you have joined on Zoom today, will most probably be with me on Thursday as well. So I will see you on Thursday. If not, I'll catch you in a few weeks' time. Thank you very much for your time and attention. Have a brilliant day, and I will see you all soon. Bye bye.